Yay, the kids are finally asleep.
So do you feel like...
Playing a game?
I've got a feeling a boss fight's coming up.
Ooh, I just got wrecked.
Headshot, baby.
Ooh, it's your turn to get the baby.
So are you up to the challenge?
Run, 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 run.
And we're dead.
That's when I realized I have no idea what I'm doing.
GG. Welcome back to another episode of the Gamer Parents Podcast. My name is Kevin, and I'm joined by my amazing wife, Joanne.
Hello, everyone. Ho, ho, ho.
Episode number 70?
Yes.
I believe. That sounds about right. 70.
Yeah. Ooh.
If you're new here, Joanne and I are a married couple. We have 2 kids, and we love gaming.
A little bit too much, I would say.
We are parents who game, gamers who parent, and we're here to talk about that parenting life and the gaming life and everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, we are not too far away from Christmas.
Woo-hoo.
Just about a little less than a week left when this comes out.
Yes.
But with that in mind, we've had some life stuff happening this last week or so. Let's bring everyone up to speed.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll ask you, anything from this week you want to share?
Yes, another busy week. Started off with a Christmas tea party for 2 little girls. Actually, 3 little girls. But
Is that including you?
No.
Okay, so 4 little girls.
No. Our daughter has 2 other little baby girlfriends. So I've invited them and their mom over for a little Christmas tea party. And they absolutely enjoyed it, I could say, with, some dolls and play dates after. I don't know who had
lots
more
of food,
fun.
Right? I
Yes,
think
lots of food.
Their mom likes to bake, or it seems like it, because she always brings over stuff.
She brought cookies and some fresh poppy seed bread, and I got some fruit platter, a rainbow fruit platter that I prepared, which is essentially all 7 colors of the rainbow using fruits.
Yes, very pretty looking.
Yeah, it's very Pinteresty. And then also some cupcakes. Was it cupcakes? No, it was muffins. Yeah. So all the girls had so much fun with that. A lot of bonding time and, Christmas song and whatnot. But that was the start of the week, Monday, bam. Start busy. And then, of course, there's our streaming, but we'll get to that later because this is life stuff.
Okay, right.
What else happened? Let's see. And then Dylan's school had something fun going on, which was his winter party at school, which he had to perform with his classmates. 3 Christmas songs. What was it? Starts with Jingle Bell, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and
of course, Feliz
Navidad. Very
3 great
inclusive.
Christmas songs.
Yeah, very nice. And they were so cute. We had fun, right?
They had like homemade vests made out of paper grocery bags.
Trader Joe's.
Yeah, Aldi's, I think it was.
Aldi's,
and they painted them red and decorated them, and then they wore them as vests.
Mm-hmm.
It was cute. It was funny.
Yeah,
cute.
and then they had little instruments and bells and everything to kind of liven things up.
And the whole week ahead of that Friday Christmas party, every night Dylan was I don't want to sing on Friday, I don't know the words, what if I forget everything? And I'm dude, you've been practicing, you know the words.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. Just sing the parts you know. No one's gonna give you a hard time if you can't or anything like that. So I mean they're all 4 or 5, right? Mm-hmm. So
that was so cute.
Not a whole lot as expected, but he still stresses out bad over stuff.
It's funny how he stresses out before and he totally don't show it during.
Yeah, the day during the whole thing, he had the biggest smile ever on his face, singing the songs and stuff. And I was I can't believe he was worried about this the day before.
Yeah, that was so funny. And it's really fun since it's our first time to see him perform, right? I think.
And like that.
Like that, yeah. On stage. It's not really on stage, but yeah, in front of an audience.
Performing for Instagram or Twitter.
Mm-hmm. And then the day after that, I had to prepare our daughter, Faith, our 3-year-old, for her winter dance recital.
Which was today, actually, this morning.
Yeah, as the day of this recording. Yep. And put her in a dress. She made so much fuss because of all the sequins, and you know how those like ballerina outfits are usually not the comfortable, and our kids are very high on comfort, you know, like they must wear something comfortable. Like even if there's tags, there must be like comfort.
Yeah, like they don't want to tag against their skin because it's not comfortable, and like our son like doesn't even want to wear jeans because they're uncomfortable, even though they're stylish and they look better versus other things. Like he would rather just like be in his pajamas all day.
Yeah, and sometimes I let them be because you know it's too much hassle to fight them on it.
But obviously you can't go to a dance recital
in pajamas.
And just anything. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was the only one wearing a skin colored leotard on the inside so that like she wouldn't feel the other dress.
Yeah, it probably makes it a little bit more comfy.
Yeah, that's why she was okay today. But yeah, she did great. I was the one stressing out. I kept waking up like every couple hours last night, like just stressing out, thinking, okay, what if she cries on stage? What if she, you know, freaks out at the backstage or something? Because we parents are not allowed in the backstage, and that
that was kind of weird for me.
I know,
because that's like probably the first time, besides like, you know, like the kids group at church, that kind of thing. Like, very rarely outside of that, like, have we ever like let her be without us, basically. So.
Plus, she hasn't started daycare, so you can see the anxiety it has on me. You know, like that separation anxiety thing going on. But anyways, I was so surprised that she had zero stage fright. Like she totally slayed on stage.
Before she even got up on stage, each group before her group, there was at least one kid that would like start crying.
Yeah, like
during the performance because they just like couldn't keep it together anymore. And like, you know, they're on a stage like all spread out with just a few other kids and like probably like 100 people in the audience, maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
At least.
And
you know, the lights are all shining on them, and like
spotlights.
Everyone's like, I don't know. I would be nervous up there. I'd probably break down too. So these were like, and some of the kids were younger than her even, so probably like 2, 3 ages, and.
It was so cute though.
I was just like, after each group, I was like, oh, I hope Faith's not the one in our group that
I know
that starts crying. Hopefully she does okay.
And I'm like thinking, okay, if she starts crying, do we run up there to save her?
I didn't know.
You know, like all that like ran through my mind the whole night before. Plus, get this. Every time I take her to her ballet class, she would like cling on to me so tightly that I have to hide from her, like behind the door or something, anywhere out of her sight. But I can still see her, you know, just to not distract her so she could pay attention to the teacher at least. But it's so weird how, like, you know, like she would totally be like antisocial during class. So I expected her to like freak out on stage, right? Because the audience is big and there's more people. But surprisingly, she did super amazing. Like, you know, she tried her best to dance on stage, follow her teacher on the side, and she kind of like smiled a lot. And she even waved at us.
Yeah, I mean that moment when she like first saw us and like waved to us, like what was so perfect. Like she just looked so cute up there.
She does, and she's like smiling brightly, and I'm like, gosh, she's just so confident up there and smiling and waving as if, you know, it was like a modeling thing or something, a runway.
Yeah, she surprised us in a very good way, I think, today.
Yeah, and, you know, being both our kids' first time this week to be, what do you call it? Like performing in front of people, it really made me teary-eyed, and, you know, it just reminds me that we won't have them with us forever at one point. It feels like it's close to college already.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're growing so fast.
Especially for Dylan, the little genius.
And Faith, our little princess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was what's happened this week for me. Thank goodness, among all this busy schedule, I got opportunity to sneak out for a mom's night out on Thursday. To meet with like a group of mom friends. It's like 30 of us, I think.
Yeah, it's a big group.
It's a big group. We have this like big charcuterie. I don't know how you pronounce that word, but
no idea. Don't look at me.
But you know the charcuterie board thing with cheese and salami and whatnot, cheese and meat. Yeah, We have like a whole island, like that big, for a charcuterie board party. And yeah, it was so good. And someone brought red wine, and I know it paired so
it's your
well.
Weakness.
I know, my weakness. I had a designated driver to bring me back. Thank you, friend. But yeah, that was a nice break. It was a very long party. It was supposed to end at 9, but with wine, things tend to go a bit longer, and I got back around closer to 11.
Yeah, it was. I remember like even texting you like beforehand, and I was like, just checking in, everything okay?
I know.
Kids are asleep. They've been asleep. I just want to make sure,
Yeah,
it was like, not that normal for you to be out late like that. So I know you girls are enjoying yourselves, having a good time.
I know, mom's going out of hand there, but it was fun, and it's like gift exchange for Christmas and whatnot. But it is our last meeting for the year, thank goodness. So you'll still see more of me here, Kevin. Right. But I think that's it for me. One more last thing. So it's a funny story. I went to the postal office to do some Amazon returns. And then like the pet store was just next door. Mm-hmm. And I knew our son really wanted a pet fish.
Yes, for Christmas.
And
we told him that, the thing he wanted from Santa was a pet fish. Mm-hmm. So we told him we would let Santa know, and he would bring him a pet fish. Mm-hmm. And then you come back from being out of the house running some errands on December 12th, 13th?
Yeah.
With a fish. And I'm like, it's a little bit before Christmas. So
I know. And I was like, we could hide it from him. And this is harder than I thought. Like, where would we put this fish? This little 1-gallon tank fish.
Yeah. So, first I was thinking do we just take care of it in secret and hide it somewhere until Christmas and just keep feeding it twice a day and change its water and only bring it out when the kids are asleep or something so they don't find it. But
I know.
It seemed a lot easier to just give it to them as an early Christmas surprise. So a Christmas fish.
A Christmas fish. And he's like, but it's not even Christmas yet. Why did Santa bring it early? And I was like, well, Santa thought it was a lot of work to bring fish.
Santa tries to work ahead some and get some of his gifting out of the way before Christmas, so he has less to do later.
I said it would be hard for Santa to bring the fish on the sleigh, That's what I told him.
Thinking ahead, yeah.
And he was like, okay, but can he get me another fish for Christmas? He asked me, and I'm like, I don't think so.
You got your one fish already, pal.
Yeah. I clearly did not put much thought into it when I got it. I was so happy to see it when I went into a pet store. This is the danger of walking into a pet store, guys. I feel like I want to buy all the animals there. I nearly got...
You can't go by yourself anymore. That should be a rule.
I know. I nearly got us...
I shouldn't go to the grocery store by myself.
Exactly. I nearly got us a puppy. I was like, I love this puppy. Can I get it? Can I keep it? And thankfully, because Dylan asked for a fish, that's why I got the fish. But if he had asked for something else, who knows?
I'm glad he asked for a fish instead of anything else.
Yes. But yeah, that is my week in life. Very busy. But what about you? What have you been up to?
Yeah, well, besides everything else we've been talking about, I know since we're on Christmas gifts and the Christmas fish, another thing we got, technically we didn't get, it was my parents, kids' grandparents, got for them, which is actually at their house, not at our house. But it's really cool and it's worth sharing anyways. But they got one of those basketball game type things, kind of like what you would see at an arcade or Dave and Buster's type of place. Yeah. Obviously not quite as fancy as what you'd see out at a business establishment because it's obviously made for people to have in their houses.
And it's foldable
yeah,
too.
and it folds up into not taking up nearly as much space as it is when it's completely folded out. And it's 2 basketball hoops and you get 4 basketballs and you can shoot and it keeps track of how many points you get. And obviously the balls automatically roll back down to you. And that's a lot of fun.
It was.
They have 8 different game modes and Dylan, we went over there. We were there for what 4 or 5 hours. He was probably shooting hoops with me for at least half that time.
Well, if you want to know how much he shot, it was until his fingertips were kind of peeling or something.
Yeah, because like when he throws it too, because he's only 5, he has to like give it everything he's got to like get it that far and that high up there, and it's like just enough to make it usually. So he's throwing it like hard for him, and I think the way he's having to throw it, it's like rubbing a little too much on the ends of his finger.
I wonder if his arms would hurt tomorrow. We should
maybe
see.
I mean, that was like good exercise for him. Like after a while he was like, I'm tired. I was like, yeah, you're like throwing as hard as you can every like 2 seconds trying to make these baskets.
Plus he is competitive, so
he is. And the funny thing is, our son hates to lose, like more than anything. He is a sore loser, I'll be the first to say. And that's something that I try to work with him on. And like, so we'll like be competing against each other in this basketball game, and I'll make some points and I'll like get ahead and stuff, and then he'll get upset because I'm ahead. So like I'll start shooting into his basketball hoop, and I'll give him some points. And like he's totally cool with that. It's like, as long as he wins, it doesn't matter how. Even if it means like me giving him points or the lead, like he's fine with that. Like as long as he wins.
Well, sometimes when he loses, we try to tell him to say "good game," right? We're trying to teach him those sportsmanship. I think we're all born like sore losers naturally, and a lot of educating and good sportsmanship along the way.
We have to remind him of that often, but when he's thinking about it, he's okay, but just sometimes that first natural instinct kicks in and he gets upset when he loses.
Yes.
But yeah, that was been a lot of fun. We only got to play it for 1 day so far, but he definitely wants to go back soon so we can play that some more. And I'm having a blast with it too, so I'm enjoying it also.
Yeah.
And I guess the last thing that's life related, there's a new show that came out on Netflix a few days ago, and it is interesting to both of us because it is a live action remake of an anime that we both watched probably like 20 years ago.
Yeah. Gosh, time flies when you think of it that way.
Yeah, it was probably one of the first animes like that I watched or got into.
Before Naruto?
Oh yeah, I think this was before Naruto, definitely. Not too much before, but yeah, definitely before. And it's a show called Yu Yu Hakusho, right?
Anime.
An anime called Yu Yu Hakusho. And it's not a super long one, at least the anime series from what I remember. But it was a long time ago. I don't remember everything exactly, but I remember liking it. And enough to the point where that's kind of stuck with me. And they came out with a live action on Netflix now. And I think it's only like 5 episodes. So it's super short. I don't know if they're going to have more seasons.
I hope they do.
Well, let's watch it first, and then if we like it, then we can definitely hope for a season 2. But yeah, it's originally recorded in Japanese, so the lips don't match the words when we listen to it in English. It's pretty short. I think we should try to watch it if we can, especially if we have both seen the anime. It might be kind of cool to...
Did you watch the anime in English or in Japanese?
That's a good question. I don't know. It may have been... I feel like I watched it in English because I didn't really know how to watch anime yet.
Oh, okay.
I think Naruto was the first anime that I watched in Japanese.
Okay, cool.
Like anything before that, I'm pretty sure I watched in English.
Okay, so you also watched Dragon Ball in English?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I watch everything in Japanese.
Yeah.
I was wondering.
I think like at first, like any animes like in that era, like when they came to the US, like it was kind of by default in English.
Makes sense.
So I think usually like kids, especially like the age I was, like I don't think we would have wanted to listen in Japanese and then have to read everything. Like I think it's easier as like an adult to like read the subtitles, obviously because I don't speak Japanese, and then still kind of know what's going on.
Okay.
But that's it for life. Let's go ahead and jump into gaming. I'll let you go ahead and start because I think I probably have a little bit more than you this last week. But what have you been up to with gaming?
Yes, I have to admit, I didn't do much gaming this week because of all the busyness that happens in the day.
Yeah, and you'll notice like the longer the life update is, the shorter the gaming update is, and vice versa.
Especially for moms, because moms have to prepare everything the night before.
Yeah.
So for gaming, as usual, I'm still on my mobile game a lot. I'm Commander level 49 now.
Which is, remind everybody the name, in case they're just tuning in for the first time.
Oh yeah, it's a puzzles and survivals game, Resident Evil edition. It's kind of like...
Well, like the puzzle part's like Bejeweled, kind of, right?
Yes. I was going to say Candy Crush, but yeah, I think it's more like Bejeweled.
Not as interesting as Candy Crush.
Yeah, but it has like a storyline in the back, Very Last of Us storyline. Yeah. Anyways.
You said you're Commando level something?
Commander level 49, yes.
Is that the highest level?
No.
Please tell me that's the highest level.
That's not the highest level. I asked them, like, is there a max level? And they were like, I don't know.
Always 50.
No, I think my other fellow commanders are higher than. Anyways, that's what I've been playing from the bed at night. And also on Tuesday, we streamed Baldur's Gate 3, which is like...
For a few hours. It was a pretty long stream for us. And, but yeah, Baldur's Gate 3, that was fun.
It's just that time flies so fast when we're playing Baldur's Gate with all the, dialogues and decision making and just the walking and exploring itself.
Yeah. And
it's actually my game, and Kevin joined me.
That was like the only session that I...
Yeah, that he's joining for the first time. Yeah.
Yeah. I got to play Rogue, which I wasn't too happy with. I mean, like, I wanted to try Rogue as a class, and we're only like level 3, but like I felt like I couldn't do anything. Like, I don't know, maybe Rogues get overpowered later, in the game at higher levels, maybe. Something that kind of does tend to happen sometimes with Rogues, but wasn't having a whole lot of fun with it at that point. But otherwise, I mean, it's a great game, so I think it was just the class that I chose.
And we did explore a dungeon that we totally got wrecked at.
We got eaten by spiders. That was a good way to end the stream.
Well, the spiders teleport. That's not fair.
Yeah, they teleport. And there's obviously a whole bunch. There's a big queen spider that makes a bunch of little spiders. And yeah, and then there was me, the rogue, who like didn't have any special attacks. And I could barely do anything. Yeah,
so that one took a lot out of us that night, but it was fun. I'm glad Kevin got to experience this dungeon because we didn't go through this dungeon in our first gameplay.
Yeah, we somehow skipped it because there's like so much to do in that game.
So I'm glad. But that's about my gaming this week. What about you?
So for me, I have a bit more. So I'll start with my mobile game, which if anyone who knows me even decently knows that I love Marvel Snap.
Oh, Snap.
And a little bit about that. I haven't mentioned it on recent episodes, but they did somewhat recently add a new feature to the game of like an automatic deck builder where like you just pick a card that you want and then they'll build a deck around it. Or you can have like a partly built deck and it'll finish the deck for you, that kind of thing. And my first experience with that was that it works pretty darn well. Like I had it build me a couple of different decks and they both worked pretty well. Like I could have just been lucky. Like I got, a few wins like right off the bat with each one and was like pretty consistent at like being able to increase my rank. So I attribute that to the deck builder thing, building me a pretty solid deck that I probably wouldn't have been able to put together otherwise. It did give me a deck like based around Darkhawk, which is a card that's pretty overpowered. It gets stronger with more cards in your opponent's deck, which is there's some other cards that puts cards in and basically makes Darkhawk stronger. But recently, the latest card to come out in Marvel Snap has been the Blob. And he eats every card in your deck. So, like...
What's the Blob?
The Blob, he's like a big, heavy guy.
Oh, okay.
I forget what he's in. I know he's a, like...
So he's a Marvel character?
Yeah. Oh, he's a Marvel character.
I've never heard of him, but go on.
I've seen him like once or twice in as a character in something. I don't remember what it was. But, yeah, he eats every card in your deck, which basically... takes Darkhawk's power like down to 0 because there's no cards in your deck. So like the newest card that everyone is running is like a complete counter to the deck that I've been using that I had a lot of luck with or success with, and now so I have to completely change what I'm doing and go back to some other decks that don't get hard countered by the card that everyone's using right now. So that's I'd rather be able to play the decks that I like and was working for me, but now I have to change things up. So that's kind of where I'm at with that game. I've also been playing quite a bit of Forespoken, And I know this game had a lot of critique where people didn't like it for, I don't know exactly why. I can kind of maybe see a little bit why, but I'm sure for various reasons. Overall, like most people didn't really have a lot of good things to say about the game. But this is kind of one of those games where I am not seeing eye to eye with a lot of the other people. I actually really enjoy this game. Probably the one thing that is not so great is the story. I think I mentioned that last time. I forget if I did. But anyway, the story is like, it's okay. It's not like the quality of like God of War or like what I hear out of the Horizons games or other games that have like a really good, interesting story. This is kind of like, it's okay. But then I do really like the traversal. It's an open world game. It's really fun to like zip around the map. And, the magic parkour way that you get to do. It's probably one of the only games, like open world games, where you don't really have a mount, and it's totally fine because they give you like probably an even better way to be able to get around the map.
Wait, like, do you have a mount for God of War?
No, but God of War is like not really open world.
That's true.
But like I mentioned God of War as like a story game, but there's not really like open world
Gotcha.
like Forespoken is, where you have to like cover vast lengths of space in sometimes a short period of time. But you can move around pretty quickly and pretty easily without really having a mount because use your magic parkour or whatever to like run. She can run really fast somehow. I don't know how, but yeah, that's one of her abilities. And another thing with the traversal and the map, there are like so many like points of interest. And I'm finding in most open world games, I don't have this problem. Like if I want to go somewhere, like I'll plot a point like A to B, and I'll maybe like stop one or two places like along the way and like, grab whatever it is. But this time I'm like, oh, I want to go there. Let me just go out of my way just a little bit and go get this one. And then from there I see something else and I keep going in like that off direction. And then like 10 minutes have passed and I'm like really far away from where I wanted to go. Like I'm further away than when I started because I just like, oh, what's that over there? I'm gonna go check that out. Oh, who's this? Oh, what's this enemy? Let me go over there and fight that. Like there's just so many different things like to do, and like it's
your weakness. It's your weakness.
Yeah, like I have a hard time just focusing on like the primary stuff, the main story stuff. I'm like, oh, I can go over here and get extra stats and get more experience and mana and stuff. So there's tons of points of interest basically in this game, and as you beat the key bosses, you unlock their like magic powers basically.
So you've beaten one, right?
Yes, just one. And so when you as you play the game from the beginning, you only have like earth powers, basically.
Yeah.
And the first boss you fight has all fire powers.
Ooh.
And so the last thing I did in the game was beat that boss who uses all fire powers. So now I've like absorbed her powers or whatever. So now I can use fire spells, but I haven't had a chance to try it yet. Like I literally beat the boss and it was like, oh, you unlocked all these extra abilities. And I was like, well, I have to go. So I had to like save it and shut down. Like I didn't even get to like test these things out or anything. So I'm actually really looking forward to the next time I can try the game because I want to like see all the new fire spells that I just got, which will be cool because it's a huge new slate of different things I can do, different ways I can fight enemies.
That would be fun. Let's see that.
Yeah. And overall, I'm just really enjoying the game. It's not super difficult. It's fairly forgiving in a lot of ways.
I know. I feel like I could actually play that game.
Yeah, they do have some cool features that you can like switch on in the menu. Like one makes it so you automatically loot items, you automatically pick things up.
Oh, please say you did that.
I did, of course. That's kind of dumb. Like, who wants to go around and keep pressing the, X or triangle, whatever, to pick up items all the time?
Don't we do that for Baldur's Gate? I feel like we looted.
Yeah, but like Baldur's Gate makes sense because you don't want to loot everything because you have inventory limitations.
True.
In a lot of games, and Forespoken included, you don't have like limited inventory space.
Awesome.
So like there's no point in not picking something up. I guess the limitation is like you can only have X number of this item, which then it's like then you can't pick it up. It won't let you pick it up, but it's fine because it's not like a weight thing where you're picking and choosing what you want to carry necessarily. So it works well for that game and it just makes it convenient. There's a lot of things about the game that are convenient. But anyways, yeah, I digress. I like the game. I think I'm at that point where I just know that I'm gonna finish it. Like it's got me into it that much. But other than Forspoken, I've also been playing Elden Ring.
Mm-hmm. And that's the one that you play on the
I've
other
been
mode,
playing
right?
on, yeah, it's like seamless co-op is what they call it.
Yeah.
And still challenging, like I mentioned on that last week. And
you beat any boss there?
Yeah, I mean we've been beating lots of bosses.
Okay,
We've skipped a lot of bosses too, because it's like you die on the same boss like 20 times in a row, sometimes more, and then you're like, well, let me come back to this one when I'm stronger or better or both.
I guess I meant to ask, did you beat Melania yet or meet her yet?
No, we have not made it to Melania yet. I'm not really looking forward to that. Like, I want to be as strong as possible when I get there. And even then, so far, and same with like all From Software games, like your character level means some, but not nearly as much as like your skill level. So like you have to kind of be on your game to beat some of these boss fights. And having extra levels is somewhat helpful, but not like your max level. You could take on any boss like super easily. Right? That doesn't really happen in that game. But there was also some news recently that there is going to be, I don't know if it's DLC or an expansion or what, but there's going to be extra content coming to Elden Ring in February, which is kind of nice because I still feel like I have quite a ways left in the game, and it'll probably be perfect timing with that coming out. Like we'll be wrapping up the game, and then there'll be some like new, fresh content coming out for us to
explore,
dig a little deeper into it because I do love this game, and I could see myself wanting to play more Elden Ring than what they currently have in the game. So I may check that out.
It sounds like your Christmas wishes already came true with these two games. You're so happy with it right now.
Yeah, pretty much. These are, a lot of people will probably disagree with me on Forspoken, but I'm sure a lot of people would agree with me on Elden Ring being a great game. And gaming's like kind of at its peak right now for me.
Good for you.
So with our life and gaming updates out of the way, we're going to go back to something that we used to do, and we kind of skipped it the last couple of weeks because we had some busy agendas with those episodes. But we want to get back to doing this on a weekly basis if we can, which is to run through new game releases as well as new Game Pass games. If you've been listening to our show for a while, we used to do that before we take a break. So I'll go ahead and kick us off with new game releases.
Sure.
This last week, we had Bear and Breakfast coming to PS5 and PS4. We have Hammer Watch 2 on PlayStation 5 and Switch. Little Nightmares on iOS and Android. Ocean Craft on PS5, PS4, and Switch. SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake on iOS and Android. Viewfinder on PS4. Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising on PS5, PS4, and PC. Grand Theft Auto: The Trilogy, the Definitive Edition on iOS and Android. House Flipper 2 on PC. Talia on Switch. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet: The Hidden Treasure of Area Zero. The Indigo Disc on Switch. That is a long title.
It is. Oh my gosh.
That's crazy. Like I just kept going. Like I didn't read it beforehand, and it was just like it went on and on and on. And last but not least, Terra Nil on Switch. Any of those reach out to you at all?
Well, I am kind of wondering what House Flipper 2 is about. This reminds me of that, what do you call it, TV show I used to watch like while waiting for my dental appointment or something. Is this?
Yeah, I'm sure it's on like every dentist office or doctor's office.
Is this like that? Is this a game like that where you flip a house?
Assume you like buy a house for dirt cheap and like work on it and put some money into it and then sell it and try to make money. That sounds kind of awful to me.
What? That sounds like fun to me. Well, I
like decorating and like
stuff.
modeling, remodeling stuff and all that. Me, I'm like, that sounds like hard work.
That's how our game room looks nice, Kevin.
Yeah, well, that's mostly because of your work, not mine. I do think, I don't know if I'm assuming that's like DLC or something for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So that's a game that I've been wanting to play, and I probably will at some point, unless like a new Pokemon game comes out, and I'll play that instead. But if they don't, then I will probably pick up one of those too. So it's cool to know that they're still adding some content for that.
I actually like Little Nightmares, so I don't know why it's
that's
new.
on mobile now.
Oh, so
that's just for iOS and Android. It's been out for like, I think
it's been out for a while, for PlayStation and stuff. So it's out, so it's new on mobile. I'll definitely
so you can play it on your phone. It can be you can get rid of puzzles and survival now.
What's with you with my puzzles and survival? You can play
Little Nightmares instead.
Little Nightmares, if you guys don't know, it's those like horror-based puzzle game. It's about a little girl in a yellow jumpsuit. Is it jumpsuit or raincoat?
I think I kind of always thought it was a raincoat, but I never played the game. So.
Yeah, but she's trying to escape this place called the Maw. I've been watching the gameplay all this while, but I never really wanted to play it on my computer and stuff.
You can try it on your phone now.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited.
So that's all new game releases this last week. Can you update us on new Game Pass games?
Sure. New games released on Game Pass is Tin Hearts on console, PC, and cloud, which I happen to really like also because I've read like reviews on it online. It's like 8 out of 10.
Not too bad. What is Tin Hearts?
It's like a moving puzzle game. It's very narrative and immersive, but it's like ghosts of the past emerge to tell tales of family, love, and stuff like that. Very wholesome sounding to me. So I hope I could try that one day. And then there's Far Cry 6 on console, PC, and cloud. And Pillars of Eternity Definitive Edition on PC. I'm happy that it's on Game Pass. I definitely want to try it.
Tin Hearts?
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, you definitely should. Especially it's on Game Pass, so might as well. Interesting, Far Cry 6 is now added, as I just beat that game like 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah, to be fair, Kevin bought it last year.
Yeah, so I have a habit of like pretty much buying a handful of games every Black Friday.
Yeah.
Well, not just games that are on sale, so not necessarily new. I'm pretty sure I got Far Cry 6 like a year from this last Black Friday. Like
not this
over a year ago.
Yeah, over a year ago, but it was.
And I didn't play it until
back then.
This year, but it was still on sale, so it wasn't like that new. I don't remember when it came out, but anyways, and then I end up I buy a batch of games, and then I basically play those over the next year.
Yeah,
and then the next Black Friday I buy a bunch of games again, and then it takes me like a year to play through all of those again. So that's kind of how I've been doing things like the last few years, and that's why I'm feel like I'm always behind.
And once he's done with Forespoken and Elden Ring, it'll be on Game Pass. No, I'm kidding.
Definitely Elden Ring, I don't think would.
Yeah, I don't think so. I was just kidding.
And and Forspoken's a PlayStation only. But yeah, I get your point.
Yeah.
You're trying to be funny that every game that I buy ends up coming out on Game Pass
after you're done with it.
Even that happened with Death Stranding. I bought it, and like a week later, they announced it on Game Pass.
Oh, did it? Okay.
I still haven't played it because, I don't know. It's because of that, I guess.
Yeah, but that's all that's released on Game Pass last week.
Very, very cool. Since we're done with that, let's go ahead and run through where everyone can find us over on Twitter at twitter.com/gamerparentspod. Or on YouTube, where you can find our YouTube channel, Gamer Parents Podcast, where we post an audio-only version of this podcast over there as well, if that is your preference.
And on Instagram at gamer_parents_podcast.
Give us a like, follow, subscribe, whatever it is, wherever it is, and we would greatly appreciate it. I'll also throw out there that any kind of podcast review, especially on Apple Podcasts, would be amazing. We always read through those on the next show. So if you leave one there, just heads up, it is probably going to be read out.
Yes.
And the best place to come and hang out with us would definitely be our Discord server. Link for that is in the show notes. And on top of that, we are also usually in the voice chat on the Discord server. So if you want to come and say hi, we definitely encourage you to do that. But that is all that we have for you guys this time.
We'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.